finally got home from the Elite Series event on Lake Douglas down in East Tennessee, and I was a little bit surprised on how that tournament turned out. I knew the fish were going to be deep, and a lot of them were deep, but I didn't know that you could get a crankbait down 25 to 30 to 35 feet, as according to some of those guys, as the top finishers did. You know, Jeremy Starks ended up winning that event. Britt Myers ended up finished second. And a lot of those top finishers were what they call strolling. Now, I didn't realize that technique was legal. The majority of the field did not realize that technique is legal the way that the rules are currently written. And if you don't know what strolling is, it's when you cast a bait out there and then use your boat to move the boat so you can pull off more line. And then once you get a ton of line out, then you can reel it in, and your crankbait is a couple hundred yards away, and then you reel it and your crankbait goes real deep. You get over those areas where those fish are hanging, and you can catch those fish that are 25 to 30 feet deep by doing what they call strolling. Well, if the boat's moving and the bait's moving as well, to me that's trolling, not strolling. But according to them, it's just strolling, not trolling. They might say something different.
It's actually an optical illusion. It's the pattern on the pants. It's not flattering in the crotchal region. I'm actually taking them back right now, taking them back to the pants store. Nothing to look at. Go back to work, everyone. Don't act like you're not impressed.
You know, when you're out there, you're throwing that bait way out there, you got to throw it a long ways in order to get enough line out there to have resistance so that you can pull it off. I'm guessing that by next season, this whole trolling thing, it's not going to be allowed, because it's very questionable as to whether it's strolling or trolling or long line or whatever you want to call it. But when you throw your bait way out there, I'm using Vicious 10-pound fluorocarbon on the Little John DD, and when I would throw it way out there, I had to be careful where I casted it, because you may have something unintended happen if you hit something you're not trying to.
Boy, stop coming in!
So you got to be careful where you hit that bait, and then once it's way out there, you can reel it and get it all the way down there. On a conventional cast with that Little John DD, I can get it down in that 18, 19 foot range. If you stroll it, you can get it way deeper, obviously. But this was the bait that I was throwing. It's the Little John DD. It's a real deep diving crankbait. I've caught thousands of fish on this bait, and if I could get it down to where those fish were hanging, I definitely was able to catch fish. I practiced 90% deep for that tournament because I knew it was going to be one deep. But I ended up catching 90% of my fish shallow on this Fat John right here, this nasty shad. As you can see, this thing's pretty beat up. I caught a bunch of fish on it, caught a couple over 3, caught a 4-pounder on it, and this is what the majority of my fish was weighed on. I practiced about 10% of the time shallow, and I ran around and threw this Fat John, caught a few fish, and I said, okay, if I have a fallback, I'll use that. So went the first morning of the tournament, I fished for an hour and a half to 2 hours, never had a fish, fishing a lot of deep stuff. And so I just picked up the Fat John, ran around, fished the bank, catch a few keepers, catch 1 or 2 decent fish, and then I'd get up there and fish deep the rest of the day. And I think I only weighed 1 deep fish in each of the 3 days that I fished. Ended up finishing 45th, so I had an okay event, but I need to start having some single-digit finishes, some top 20 finishes in order to get up there in the points of where I want to be. So these were the 2 baits that did it for me at Douglas. We got a couple weeks off before we head down to Toledo Bend and go down there and try our hand at those big Texas bass. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see you then.